This was a really big eye opener for me and something I really hadn't thought about until I watched the Art Studio Life's video on the painting mistakes that instantly look amateur. And it was with oils, but this totally relates to watercolor too. So let's just jump into it. So even years after painting, I don't think I realized consciously that I think about my edges very often. I know when a painting will feel a bit too detailed or when something just seems a little off, but I really never stopped to think about the why behind it. So watching this video really explained it to me in a way that finally clicked for me, and I couldn't wait to share it with you. So it's funny because we think of watercolor or even drawing as being all about those details, right? But one thing you hear me say often is let your eye fill in the details. That's where the magic happens because our brains naturally connect those dots. So we don't have to paint every single edge or every tiny detail to create a believable painting. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see beginners make, and even people that have been painting for years like me, is to give every edge the same amount of attention. So have you ever finished a painting and you thought, okay, well, why doesn't it look soft? Why doesn't it look realistic? Why does it look like a coloring book instead of a painting? Here is something I wish someone had taught me years ago. And that is the problem isn't your brush, it's not your paper, it's not even your technique. It's that every single edge in your painting is probably trying to fight for attention. Because as beginners, I think we naturally paint everything with the same amount of detail because we think if we can see it, we should paint it, right? But that's actually the opposite of what makes a painting, I think, come alive. So today I'm going to show you one simple concept that completely changes the way that you can paint your watercolor, and that is knowing when to lose an edge and when to keep one. So I think almost every watercolor beginner does this. You carefully paint every little leaf, feather, petal, ripple in the water. Every edge is crisp. And while technically nothing is wrong, your eye just doesn't know where to look. Everything becomes equally important. So imagine if you walked into a room where every single person is talking at full volume. Nothing is going to stand out to you. And I think that's exactly what happens when every edge in a painting is sharp. So instead, I want you to think about having one person speaking while everyone else just quietly fades into the background. And that's what your edges should do. So our eyes don't actually see every detail at once. They're constantly moving. They focus on one area while everything else kind of becomes softer around it. And your brain fills in that missing information. And if you've ever watched this video, it is a riot on TikTok where you actually have two pictures of two Hollywood stars and they've got two faces, one on the left and one on the right. And then they have you stare in the middle. And all of a sudden, their faces like morph into some really strange looking person. It combines both of those images together. So if you think about looking at a friend or family member across the room, you aren't studying every little thing about them, seeing every eyelash. You're just seeing the overall shape of them. And the same thing happens in nature or any other painting. Like if we paint in a bird, you don't see the tiny eyes, you don't see every feather, you mostly just see the shape and the value of it. Yet beginners often want to paint every little detail because they think that that's what makes it look realistic. So ironically, it often makes it look less realistic because, again, you can't see it from that distance. So when every edge is hard and perfectly defined, I don't think anything really stands out. Everything is sharpened. So today I'm painting a simple cup and I am exploring those hard, soft, and lost edges. And you'll see how a variety of edges can make a painting feel more natural and interesting and full of depth. Now, I also have another artist that I watch here on YouTube, Rachel, and I guess she actually talked about this video as well, which was really cool because she's been working with her soft and hard and lost edges for a while, especially with some of her animal paintings. So I will also link her video for you down below as well. I decided to paint a simple cup while I was exploring these hard, soft, and lost edges, and you'll see how using a variety of these edges can really make a painting feel a little bit more natural, very interesting, and a little bit more full of depth. So what I want you to do is look at these three edges and use the 3 edge rule. So we have number 1, we have sharp details. That's what draws attention. It's very crisp, defined edges. It's got a high contrast, and it really helps to bring your eye into a focal point. So it's going to grab the attention of the viewer. So like I said earlier, most of us stop there, right? And we want to give everything sharp edges when we're beginning to paint. But sharp edges is where you want your viewer to first look, but you want to save those crisp details for your focal point. Sharp edges, these are where you want your viewer to look first, and you want to save those crispest details for your focal point. Number 2 is your soft edges, and that kind of is a place where you create those transitions and the depth of your painting. So like I'm adding the shadow into the cup before I started with just that really light shade. So these soft blended edges and smooth transitions really kind of help create that roundness of the cup. It helps to push things more into the background. And these gentle transitions, I think, help it feel more rounded, more atmospheric, and maybe a little bit more natural. The third one is the lost edges. This is where we let everything go. We let the viewer's eye kind of fill everything in. So this is where your edges disappear. This creates mood, it creates atmosphere, and it gives your viewer's mind a way to kind of fill in those gaps with their own imagination. And I think it adds a little mystery, maybe a little realism. It helps make things look a little bit more three-dimensional. And I think when you let some of those edges disappear completely, your brain kind of will fill in that missing information, and it makes your painting feel more realistic and maybe a little bit less overworked. So the secret isn't making every edge soft, or making everything sharp. It's using a variety of edges that are going to guide your viewer through your painting. So your goal shouldn't be soft edges. Your goal should be edge variety. Some sharp, some soft, some completely lost. And that's what's going to create movement in your painting. It's going to create depth in your painting. And that's going to also guide your viewer's eye through your painting. So if there's one thing I hope you remember from today's video, it is this. You don't have to paint everything for people to see it. Sometimes the most powerful part of a painting is what you choose to leave out. So if you'd like to practice this with me, I'd love to know in the comments, what's the hardest thing for you to leave unfinished in a painting? Is it in flowers? Is it trees, animals, or maybe those tiny little details you just can't seem to resist by adding them? And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Every week we explore watercolor in some simple, encouraging, beginner-friendly ways, and I hope to see you in the next one. And if you want to watch this full tutorial in real time, I do have it up for my patrons, including a printable sketch where you can follow along.